Ciao Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve Cast channel where it's all Juve all the time. All right, your one-stop shop for everything Juve. So if you're new here, of course, subscribe to the channel. Everybody that's already in here, look at this, live and ready to go. Like the video right out of the gate. I got Joe Cappuccino with me. We are ready to get you ramped up. We're going to cover some of the news that's been leading up to this Empoli match. And then, of course, we'll dive right into the matchup ahead of us. And we're going to have some trivia fun. And then, of course, take on the prediction challenge. Look at this. We got Bob, as always. Happy Saturday. Okay,
Buongiorno.
Let's go. Mohammed in here. Good morning. It's going to be interesting seeing the young lads play today. Yes, well, let's see. Let's see what happens there. We're going to definitely talk about the youngsters and just their time at Juve and everything. And this perception that Max carries with him in terms of the young guys. Luis Barbosa, good morning. Let's get the 3 points today. That's all that really matters. And I'm going to talk about it. I don't care what the case is, injury-wise, anything like that. Today, I will not settle for anything less than 3 points. Anthony, great crew here in the bleach already. Absolutely. We get a ton of support. We love all you guys. KM, hey guys, let's go. RB Comps jumping in as well. Fantastic crew right out of the gate here. Now, let's get the banner going, get everybody ready here. Let's go. Empoli versus Juve. Unfortunately, the last times these two teams met, it did not go any way, shape, or form how we needed it to, okay? But that's okay. We have our chance for redemption today, Joe. And I trust they will get it done. They have to get it done. There's absolutely no excuse. I don't care about injuries when it's Empoli, okay? Not a discredit to them. But I think if Anthony was here, I know what he would say, and that's they stink. Let's get the 3 points today, okay? So in terms of news, which we want to talk about first surrounding Juventus, we had some interesting stuff come out from Paulo Nonmolo, and actually twice this week. So he went a little span where he was a little sporadic in what he was posting and take some breaks. And then every now and then he comes in and he hits you with like an essay of a drop on, what's going on and surrounding Juventus. And then to this week, he came out twice with a couple of different adages. So the last one was leading up to this match that there was another board meeting and they were going to discuss adding a new figure and into the mix, and that was Carnevali from Sassuolo. So it's interesting because we heard that quite a little while ago, and it was probably like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I think, if I remember correctly, that we heard about this and him talking about Carnevali possibly being linked to Juventus. And everybody, was thinking, well, what does that mean for Cherubini, everything like that? Apparently, it's still them working in tandem and Arriva Bene kind of overseeing everything. So it was interesting to hear that from Nonmolo because a lot of the top journalists brushed that off immediately and said there is absolutely nothing going on with Juventus and Carnevali. But here we are, and Nonmolo's gone again by coming out and saying that. And he said a board meeting that was held yesterday was discussing it too. So it'll be very interesting to see. And it's always interesting when you have figures like Nonmolo and then you have your top journalists and whatnot. But as of late and for quite some time, Nonmolo has actually put stuff out before these top journalists do. And it's actually quite interesting. I've been paying close attention for the past little bit, and they're usually about 2 days behind Nonmolo. So it's quite interesting. But that's one of them. The big one was that Agnelli is tied to Allegri. It was his big decision coming back. Should Juventus not get top four, the big bomb that Nonmolo dropped is that apparently excuses Allegri's contract and Juventus from it. So it doesn't necessarily, he didn't say automatic relief of duty, like he's not just fired immediately, but it does give Juventus an option, the way I take that information, that they wouldn't be financially bound by the contract, which is fantastic because that would make 3 managers, should they decide to, that they still paid and had on payroll that weren't actually coaching the team. Obviously Pirlo, Sarri, and then it would be max again. So that's some big, interesting news, Joe, on that front. And, we got a lot of Allegri talk and whatnot, but we were saying, all of us so far on the panel, that he should get another year. But do you think, is that your kind of threshold if we don't hit top 4?
Oof. If we don't get top 4, that's really tough. Yeah, I would say that is my threshold. I think that's everybody's threshold. I think some people I've seen on the timeline, they've already reached that threshold.
Yeah. Some people hit it quite, we're not quite there
very
because,
early.
we say, I still have a little bit of leeway for him because in terms of, hey, if you're going to get rid of this guy, he still did just get, a couple new guys. And as frustrated as I even am in how we play,
Mm-hmm.
he still has a little time. Like, he just got these guys. He has been unfortunate with injuries, but still, I think we should have a good system set up and going. But I think, if you really give him a summer, can start out a season with his full team, then he would truly have no excuses,
Mm-hmm.
so it's really, really hard to say. But
My gripe is that I just can't, like you said, the way that we've been playing lately, I think that he's kind of set us up to not lose, which is what he wants. So
yeah,
but we're not setting up to win. So
it's tough. I mean, I think we could be doing more with who we have regardless of injuries. But if Allegri should go, how do you feel about Agnelli going? And before we get to this part, look at who decides to come on by. The
what?
knee guy,
Player
jumping
3
in.
has entered the game.
Listen, I'm just the man. That's what happens. You need a man. I'm the guy. You're a man down. Actually, where's everybody this morning? This is a big day. This is a huge day. 3 points are coming up. We should all be very excited. The Milan teams, they both stunk yesterday. This is a great day. 3 points, going to gain 2 points on them. Let's go.
This is why there's absolutely zero excuses. Okay, this is the Scudetto nobody wants.
Nobody wants it.
Let's slide in there. I had to put that gif up of Simone Inzaghi tripping up on the stairs there, slipping down there. And I said, look, this guy can't take the reigning champs to a Scudetto nobody wants right now. And Juve's got to stop tripping up. Let's go. Let's just climb that ladder.
To your point there, Al, they've had like and I would never wish injuries on anyone. Trust me, never. But they've had no injuries, no COVID issues. Like, Inter has been full strength this whole season, so they really have no excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Raph's asking, in need of reinforcement. I welcome you in, Raph.
Please.
Welcome you in, Raph. You know where to find the link, brother. Now,
it's Al and I were going to have some fun, but I mean, like,
we'll have fun with Anthony and everything. Anthony, real quick before we get into this, what do you think about Empoli?
They stink.
Thank you. Now, we were discussing the Non Molo piece that came out that tied Agnelli to Allegri. And I just wanted to get Joe's opinion. I'm going to get your opinion too, Ant, on do you think should something come of a split between Juventus and Allegri that Agnelli should also be gone if that were the case? And Joe, we'll start with you and then we'll get Ant's thoughts on it.
Agnelli's now okay. So like you said, they're both kind of tied together depending on if they make top 4. But let's think about it for a second. I don't think Agnelli is really going anywhere. I think he's not leaving the club. Okay, let's get that out of the way first. I think that Arriva Bene would just be taking in the event we don't make top 4 and all of these things happen. Arriva Bene would just be taking a bigger role as the CEO of Juventus. Right now, I believe that Agnelli is a chairman, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that he would kind of just be more of a figurehead position. He would still be overlooking things at the club. Exor and his family would still own a majority of the club. So that is not changing at all.
No.
Yeah, that's just it. And
to me, I look at it as like a Jerry Jones situation. Jerry Jones has like his fingers in all the pies. The Dallas Cowboys, whoever follows the NFL. To me, it's the same thing. It's like moving Jerry Jones out. Like he owns the place. He owns the building. He's not going anywhere. Having the chairman tied to a coach,
It's a little weird, right?
I don't really see it. It might be his guy, okay, but Aniela's not going anywhere, and I don't think Max is going anywhere either. I think they like what Max is doing. I think there might be some inner issues. We heard about that technical meeting. I don't know if you guys got to that yet.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up because it
Go
was
ahead.
interesting. So for those of you that might not have caught it, Nomolo also said there was going to be a technical meeting held, and he said that there was someone, not named obviously by Nomolo, pushing for a technical change, allowing Arthur and Locatelli to share the pitch. Your guess is as good as mine. A lot of guesses saying Landucci. A lot of guesses saying that it came from, Nedved, and the group Arriva Bene and whatnot. Anybody's guess. But it's interesting when you start hearing things like that, and people need to not underestimate Nonmolo's connections because of how incredibly accurate he has been we're talking like this guy didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's been several seasons now, right? So it's interesting when you start hearing stuff like that. But whether it be Landucci or not, I mean, your thoughts on that and just even hearing about these technical meetings. Ant, where were you going to go with that? You're talking.
Well, I just think there's, Agnelli has more power than people really realize, and Mirko sort of laid that out. I believe it was two interviews ago when he was with us. Like he has a lot of say in the building. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some inner turmoil in any business. You have an open session with your technical team, or it could have even come from the players to say, "Hey, why? We're not happy with this." You have an open session. Whoa, that's my. I had the YouTube fire up there. I don't listen to myself. That's not what happens. But it happens in any business. When there's some sort of inner turmoil, inner strife, it makes sense to have meetings with the higher ups. Not surprised at all, because we've all been calling for it. And I'm pretty sure, Al, you were in that meeting because you've been asking for that Arthur Locatelli link up for months, many months.
They finally answered my phone call. Okay. Ciao, ¿cómo está? Play Locatelli and Arthur. Bye. That's it. End of discussion. Yeah, I mean, we get into it. Lou and I get into it very, very often on this topic because he has his feelings and his criticisms of Arthur. I remain in my stance that we can't look at midfields as just simply individuals. I think you need to look at it as a combination, as a unit. And if for the greater good of this team, I think it would greatly benefit them to start sharing the pitch. That's my opinion. I'm not worried about the defensive abilities of Arthur. I think that's prime example of how you talk about a combination, because you get Zakaria in there. And then you get Locatelli able to move forward and support the attack. I mean, our trident's not going to be as effective. Even just Vlahovic alone with Morata there, whoever you're going to put, they're not going to be as effective if they get no support. And I think we have to help them out. So for me, it's a no-brainer to get Locatelli and Arthur sharing the pitch. Joe, you look like you had a comment you wanted to get in there and fire up. Don't hold back, brother. Let's
take it away, Joe. Take it away, Joe.
Before you get in there, the cavalry has arrived again in the form of Raph. Here you go.
Raph, we're on a pod together.
Let's go.
Has Raph cooled down? Raph was real hot last week.
Raph was real hot the last time we seen, but he looks pretty happy today. He's already smiling. I think we're good.
Yeah, give it till tomorrow. We'll see till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Love it.
So, Joe, your thoughts, Raph, fill you in. We're just talking now about my thoughts that we should be introducing Arthur and Locatelli to share the pitch. And Joe seemed to be biting his tongue on something, and now I'm going to get it out of him. What do you think?
No, you said he bit his tongue when you said his defensive abilities. Carry on, Joe.
Yeah, because I'm not concerned about Artur. But let's go, Joe.
All the above, to be totally honest. I think we should be shipping Artur back to Brazil. I think he's a side pass merchant. I do not see. I really do. Honestly, I just do not see what everybody else sees in him. He's got great dribbling ability. He can hold on to the ball. Like that's about it. But I agree, Al. All that said, I agree. We really can't look at we can't excuse anything right now. So we got to be trying everything. I just don't see how that's going to really move the needle forward.
It's not the only thing needed. Let's be very clear. It's not the only thing needed, but it's a big step in the sense of how you're going to approach games and play games, because it allows you to control a bit more, because you're not going to control games with what we're doing now. So that's just my thoughts. Raph, you just came in hot. Let's go. Artur and Locatelli, should they share the pitch?
As long as it's not Rabiot, play anyone there. Play anyone. If you're going to leave it up to me, I'm going to say throw Miretti in from the start. I don't care if he's 18. Throw him in there.
Grande
Throw Sule in there.
Let's go.
Throw Ake in there. Anyone but Rabiot.
Thank you.
Sorry, Anthony, bro. I know you don't like these young guys, but
that's not. What are we talking about here?
Okay, we're gonna. This is a good segue.
We'll get to that.
It's a good segue because we do want to talk about the young guys and everything like that and the approach at Juve. But again, going back to this midfield, I agree with Joe. It's not the be all end all. This isn't this wouldn't be the thing that massively changes anything, but it does allow you to play differently. We surrender far too much. I think this helps you. Artur, in establishing control, he needs to find Locatelli. Locatelli can go higher up the pitch. I also say, if you do want to play this target style game where you're finding Vlahovic, if you allow Locatelli to be the one that he can play to when stopping, and either Morata, Ake, who I'd like to see in today, on the other side, running off of that. Locatelli is the guy you want to play off those targets because he'll actually have the vision to find those guys. Rabiot will not find those guys. McKennie very rarely, but we know what happened with McKennie, unfortunately. And then Zakaria, again, not the guy that's going to find those. So for the greater good, I think this has to happen. That's just my opinion. Now, in terms of the young guys, I had a discussion talking about how we would line up in this particular game. So obviously the perception is with Max that young guys don't get opportunities, don't get playing time and everything like that. Obviously, there's been exceptions. If you look down the line, Dybala was very young when he came in. That's a different circumstance because Dybala was incredible.
It was a big purchase. Yeah.
You know what I mean? 40 million to bring him in, 45 million to bring him in, big talent, and has delivered. You've got it's these guys that are kind of on the fringe there and whatnot, but you have this perception that they're just not going to get a chance. And then you have the side of the fans that are with Allegri saying, look, if they're good enough, they will get their minutes and their time. So this is very, very interesting, though, because I think there's a fine line there. And I don't think it's all one side on either argument, because I do think there are more opportunities for the younger guys than we may be given. But I also don't think it's clear cut, like we just don't do anything for the young guys. There's a very, very fine line there, but I want to get your guys' thoughts on just Juventus and the younger players and getting the opportunities. Is it just they're simply not good enough, or is it Max, or is it just Juventus in general? And do you see any change? Who wants to tackle this one from the get-go?
Raph is hot. Look at him. Look at
Raph. Raph's ready to start.
I'm gonna let Ant take this one.
You want me to start? Okay.
Yeah.
That fine line that you were talking about, Al, was just got obliterated like Kyle George's patella tendon with all these injuries happening. you can't. I can't stand firm now on not playing the young players simply because of injuries. It is what it is now. You're outside the transfer market. The only options you have are to bring these guys in. Now we're going to be filling up the bench with them. Are they going to play? I don't think Max is going to give them the amount of time that I think Raph hopes they're going to get. But this is now the opportunity for them to step up. If there was ever an aligning of the planets, this is it for the young boys at Juventus. I don't think there's ever really been a time like this that I can remember where you've had so many guys go down. You're outside of a transfer market. You're stuck. You're still in 3 competitions. Moretti, I haven't seen a lot of them. Still young. Ake is the only one that I think has really sort of shown anything to earn maybe potentially a starting spot. Well, Devinter, but he's also injured as well, I believe. I think he has some sort of shoulder or elbow injury.
Correct.
So I'll stand on a little bit on both sides of the line, but I'll say if there's ever a time for the young boys to step up, it's now.
Yeah. Now, Raph, do you want to take it from there? Joe, do you want to take it from there?
Surprised you didn't, Raph?
Raph?
Okay. What I'll say is I don't disagree with Anthony. Like I really don't disagree. For me, recently, the whole shout for just seeing the young kids play is just give us something different. Like we're watching the same crap players play crap every week, and it's just frustrating. I'm just like, instead of giving them 1 minute towards the end of the game, throw them in for 10, 15, give them time to prove something, you know? If today they all play and they all suck, then at that point I'll be like, you know what? Maybe they're not good enough. Give them a couple more like run-outs, but don't bank on them if they're not performing. At the end of the day, we just want to see players perform, you know?
Yeah.
And the question
I was just going to say, Keane hasn't earned a starting spot for me. So I would even be willing to say if Keane is going to be a winger, I'd even say put Ake in instead of him because Keane has had enough
and we're going to get to that because that's what I said. That's what
Keane's
I said.
earned a spot out the door is what he has.
So Georg coming in here saying bit of both. Juve fans get carried away with potential, but at the same time, our last recruit was Keane. Before him, probably Marchisio Giovinco. Youth issue may be deeper than manager. There was no doubt, I agree with that 100%, that the issue was beyond the manager. But Cherubini has done an incredible job. And if you look at the young guys, now, obviously, one's away on loan to Genoa, Rovella Hive. Okay, always alive. I'm sure there will be Rovella Hive teas coming out very, very soon from Striker's Girl. But we got Rovella Hive teas coming out, everybody, okay? There's a spill in the beans. Now, Rovella, Fagioli, Serie B. I still say Fagioli.
He's balling.
Look at that. Look at that rating, Ant.
One key pass. Let's get it.
And just like that, speak of the devil, Fagioli, okay,
pass.
Serie B, I still say I don't see the situation for Fagioli to come in next season. I say get him to Serie A. Look at our U23s now, though. Okay, Devinter, I had, from what I've seen, I would be fearless in terms of playing him more throughout the season or getting him integrated. The only thing is, you've had Cuadrado, you've had Danilo, you've got De Chilio, whatever, and there's just simply no room, right? Unless the injuries open it up. There just hasn't been room for Devinter. But if none of those guys were playing to the level, whatnot, we shouldn't be scared and play him in because Devinter's great. Sule's been incredible since the preseason. He shows so much. He is an extremely talented kid. Now, the only thing with him is, because of the fact of Keane struggling, because of the fact you have a little bit of, well, here's part of the issue too. When you look at trying to bring these guys in, you have not established anything as a group, as a team of how you want to play, where you want to do. Do you want to have wingers? Do you want to have 2 strikers? Like we've been in and out of so many different setups. Who do you integrate? Who do you bring in? Even if you wanted to do that, it's very, very strange. Ake had a couple decent cameos, and he looks very, very dangerous as a true winger. Sule would have been an interesting change-up, but again, you have a guy like Kulishevsky previous to now where you spent a lot of money on. You're trying to get him going and seeing. So it's very, very difficult. Do you all of a sudden, because you want to get these young guys involved, scrap guys you spent good amount of money on and don't give them the opportunities, there's a fine line. And that's what I mean by a fine line. When injuries creep up, like now, I said this, now Max has to come out of his comfort zone because he's got no choice. So, today you've got what, Ake, Sule, and Miretti all in as convocati. Whether or not one of them starts or not, I don't see it happening. But Ake, I made a claim about Ake playing. If we go 4-3-3, because in my personal opinion, this team should stick with 3 midfielders as a stable building block, I would play Ake as a winger. And I was told, because, the games are so important right now, okay, they're so important right now, all these points count, I stick to my vets, I stick to the guys that have been around, whatnot. No, for me, one player doesn't change that and doesn't put you in a massive one player, one winger, might I add, doesn't jeopardize that whole scenario for me. And I would have no fear. And also, we have to think about how Empoli play and whatnot. Ake and his attributes could definitely push them back and help put them under and allow our midfield to even create more, because he is fast. He would probably be the fastest guy on the pitch, arguably. And he's very, very tricky player. When's the last time we've played in a manner that's even gotten us free kicks in dangerous areas? Ake can help do that. Cuadrado has struggled in one of his top traits, and that's winning 1v1s. And without that, he loses a lot and sacrifices a lot. I have no fear starting Ake if they wanted to. That's just me.
I'd like to get Joe and Raph's opinion on this question.
Ake could be a good impact sub at around the hour mark. I'd rather start Sule. Oh,
Joe,
interesting.
So I know that there's also something up with Sule's contract saying that he can only appear for X amount of appearances with the first team, or else he can't play with the U23s.
It's extended, though. It's much bigger than what most people think.
Okay, good.
10 games.
Because a lot of them thought it was 4 or 5 appearances. It's actually like 10 or something. Like, he won't hit it.
That's right.
Regardless, either one of those guys, it does not matter. This is the kind of game where you play these guys. It doesn't matter who. It really doesn't matter who. Either Ake or Sule, either one of those guys would probably make some kind of impact. I really like the idea of starting Ake, because who else do we have that has like actual pace?
Yeah.
Anybody? No,
like out nobody. Of our lineup, out of our projected lineup, the fastest guy would be Cuadrado. And Ake I think, would honestly blow him out of the water.
Exactly.
De Ligt's got some speed to him. Don't forget that.
De Ligt's quick, but for being such a tank, he's not
pace that you could use,
going forward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, Fabio Miretti, he's the real deal. If you watch him with the U23s, kid is a complete midfielder. He looks great. This would be a great game for him to get some reps. That's where I stand. It's Empoli. I know that we didn't really have great luck last time, but I feel like we're in a much different position now. We can take these kinds of risks with the young players. And like Ant said, we don't have much of a choice.
And
this would be the kind of game to do it.
Yeah. To touch on it for me, Miretti, he would be my hour mark entry, like 65-minute, whatever.
Great
and
shout.
Because of the fact that I would try to establish something, especially against Empoli, in the midfield with a new combination. That's not a knock on Miretti, anything like that. I would use him to come in, and also because games are won and lost in the middle of the park, and I don't throw that on him immediately, regardless of being Empoli. And we need to lock down in the mid what we want to do, and I would set the tone with obviously what I'd want to see, which is Zaccaria, Locatelli, and Arthur, and I would play Ake to kick it off on the wing. Raph, what do you think in terms of Ake and Miretti and
I think if we're gonna play the usual like trident setup, I think Sule in kind of Dybala's role would be good in terms of starting. And then if the game's looking a bit, stuck in the mud, we'll bring on Keane for Morata and Ake for Sule for a bit of pace, injection, something to kind of spur the team on after like 65 minutes if the game's looking a bit sticky. Simply just because they're more explosive. And again, if Allegri's really trying to stick to this trident system with Morata, Vlahovic, and Dybala, I feel like Sul in Dybala's place doesn't disrupt that too much. I can kind of get maybe Morata and Vlahovic growing a bit,
Yeah,
I like that. I like that take.
Yeah, so we've got some discussion here in the live chat about Ake and Jeremiah just saying that it reminds him of a young, healthy Douglas Costa. Dynamic dribbling prowess and speed will cause hell for opponents. If used properly, can really do some damage. Raph?
Do you know who I think? There's a player in the I think he's under 19s at the moment, but I feel like next season he's going to go straight to the under 23s. Who reminds me so much of Douglas Costa, who we need to watch out for, is a guy called Chiboza, who is
Yeah.
Yeah.
electric, bro.
Great shout, Raph.
Like, I know under 19s is a huge leap to the first team, but if there's even one game where we can see 10 minutes, I want to see Chiboza in the first team, man.
I'm just gonna say, I was electric at 18. Now I'm sitting with you tards. So I was gonna put that out there. Everybody's electric when they're 18, Raph. But,
easy.
We have fun.
Easy. Okay, let's shift gears a bit, okay? Because we are going to go back to the projected lineups and what we think in terms of that, whatnot. But I had a question come up, as obviously there was news from Mirko Di Natale, friend of the All Juve cast, on renewals, okay? So he broke things down, basically saying that Dybala, there's a meeting in early March. Again, goes on and on and on, okay? So we'll wait for that meeting to happen. Cuadrado, we are just waiting on terms, okay? And it's just the contract length that needs to be settled up. The shocking one for me was that apparently Perin is very close to reaching an agreement. That's a shocker for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Like that's shocking because
360.
number one, apparently the guy wants more starting minutes and whatnot, but now all of a sudden is ready to extend with us. I don't have a problem with it. I think he's a great number two. It just caught me off guard because I totally thought, this guy wants to go start somewhere. So that would be great for Juve if you lock him in as your second. He's more than capable, if something should ever happen to your number one, to take over, in my personal opinion. And you don't sacrifice too much, really. If anything, he's been good in his outings this year. None of the goals he's allowed have been to his blame, which is all you can ask for from
I was just going to say that. Yeah, he had a couple
should get more
goals. Well, Tech's playing well, man.
Yeah, Tech actually, outside of the rocky start, has been rock solid.
They've both been great. They have
no issues there. Just caught me completely off guard to hear that Perin is close. That would be good.
Oh,
Deschilio, nothing.
Al. Is Perin equal to Szczesny?
That is exactly right, Cam.
Is Perin equal to Szczesny?
I think so.
No.
I don't think you could say equal to.
It's a different style. I like Perin is more vocal. Szczesny, not as much, but it's just two different styles. I think that you can throw either one of those guys in the starting lineup. You're not like you said, you're not sacrificing anything.
I need to see way more from Perin to actually be able to say that, because the thing with Szczesny is that he took over from Buffon, for God's sakes, and ultimately made it not much of a worry, to be honest. He's had his moments, he's had his slumps throughout the tenure, no doubt, but those are massive boots to fill. And Perin equal to Szczesny, I think it's a
little bit.
I don't think it's that far off. I don't think it's that far off
at all.
It's not that far. But
I'm with Anthony, bro.
Yeah.
I'm with Anthony. Yeah.
Well, that's not very far. So MDS
metric. I'm
Yeah,
doing math here.
nothing on DeCilio. Okay, so we wait there. Bernardeschi still needs to take a pay cut.
Where is
And
this guy?
the
Where
will-
did he go?
Yeah, we haven't seen him.
So
Thank God.
it's very, very strange. And I asked the doctor who is on Twitter, Rajpal Brar. He's actually decided to partner up with all Juve cast. He's going to start filling us in on injury reports immediately. He's going to be joining us on channel occasionally for injury reports and whatnot, doing some recorded videos.
Awesome.
So it's great stuff. He obviously gave the thorough breakdown on both McKennie injuries and Caio Jorge. Caio Jorge arguably going through the toughest injury for a footballer.
Terrible.
Based on the varying loads and whatnot on that tendon. Huge effects on pro players. And Dr. Rajpal Brar has obviously a list of guys that have gone through the similar one and greatly impacted careers. Hoping for all the best for Caio, but that's a nasty one. I asked him in terms of Bernardeschi, like if it were in fact muscle fatigue, like it can't possibly take this long. And all he said was, all that means is that there's been muscular overload. So he goes, the workload was simply too high. As far as how long it lasts, depends on way too many factors to ever give a timeline on muscle fatigue. So if it truly was muscle fatigue, okay, you can't do it because it depends, number one, what region's affected, his previous fitness levels, and the list goes on and on and on. So there is a possibility that he just simply is really struggling with the inflammation and what's going on with the muscles.
I've had muscle fatigue since 2008.
So what's that you have?
I've had muscle fatigue since 2008, man. It's wild.
Get that.
It's always back.
Let's go.
Back, knees, glutes.
Let's go. Now, my question to everybody, and I put it out on a poll, was if you could only extend one of Cuadrado or Bernardeschi, who would it be? Or would it just simply be neither? Now, that was my question, is if it had to be. Now, I got called a clown. I got called a psychopath for my opinion. And you know what? It ain't the first time. It ain't going to be the last time. And I've been called much worse. I'm cool with it. None of that's a problem. I'm just saying I'm going to drop my opinion on here, and it's highly unpopular. But
I want to start with Raph on this one. Can we get ages first? What are the ages? Do we know? Bernardeschi's like 28.
Bernardeschi's 28 and Cuadrado is 32.
Thank you. Raph?
Why are you asking me this? You guys know my answer.
Are you eating hot lips? You're eating hot lips, aren't you?
I'm eating strawberries.
Oh, good for you. That's nice.
But yeah, Cuadrado, man. What? Why? That's a no-brainer. I'm taking Cuadrado every day.
How
For
long?
2 years.
It's 2 plus
year.
1?
It's 1 plus 1.
1 plus 1.
Oh, man.
Makes
What's Quad done lately?
What's Bernard done lately?
More than Quad this season.
We can go back and forth with this like
not
for an
statistically, but in terms of
impact.
impact.
Joe, stay
Our
on it.
best streaks are tied to Berna this year, not Quad.
We saw the teams we were playing there, man. Like, well, you
I
guys
think we're
not
tied
impressed?
to the past and emotions with Cuadrado.
Yeah, very, very emotional. Raph is very emotional about
I
this.
mean, it makes more sense having Cuadrado for 1 year with an option to renew for another one than having Berna for, 4 or 5 years?
Let's take terms out of it. Like, just extension. Like, let's not get to the terms or anything. But Cuadrado, like, there's no end game there either. Like, it's simply like we resign him, he's gone. And I see a massive drop off in Quad, to be honest. Like, his main asset that has always made him effective has faded drastically. Like, I don't see him beating anybody on 1v1s.
No, I don't. I see the same thing that Al sees. So
I just see a massive drop off. I don't think it's as crystal clear. I think if you look at statistics and if people get tied into statistics between Cuadrado and Bernardeschi, I think it's a blowout. But if you take that out of the effect,
Raph, you're not on mute. Hang on. Go ahead, Raph.
No, I was gonna say, can I drop some statistics right now?
No,
Oh boy,
it's because
Here
they
we
don't
go.
matter.
Statistics can lie, bro.
80% of the time.
You could say that Cuadrado's the third all-time leader in assists for Juventus, and you're not
mean,
wrong. But has he
this-
been detrimental to Juve's game this season?
Hang
No.
on, Raph. What do you got, Raph? Let the
So,
young
like-
man speak.
Like
Give him-
neither one this season have been detrimental to our game. Yeah, neither one have been crucial.
I agree with that.
Bernardeschi eliminates the awkwardness on the left side of the pitch.
But I would just say that Cuadrado has more contributions on the offensive end of the pitch than Berna. And this is the guy who will play right back sometimes. Goals
The
and assists.
versatility. Mhm.
How about
Cuadrado's 32 years old and is probably going to prevent that youth movement that you want, Raph.
So is Berna, man. This guy's nearly 30 years old.
this?
Bernard's
Gulag
not
them
going to
both.
prevent anything.
Gulag them both. That's my
Because
thought.
you would have one versatility guy.
All right, Joe, what do you got, bud?
Get rid of them both. Like, why are we even having this discussion? If
That's
it
not the question.
absolutely-
Play the goddamn game, Joe. That's
If
not the
it-
question.
If it came down to one, to pick one, trash versus garbage,
Oh,
Joe.
let's just be
I'm gonna
nice.
go.
Come on.
But I would go with Berna. I have an agenda with Cuadrado. One thing, okay, I will admit that I have an agenda. Two, Cuadrado's just one of those players who's simultaneously frustrating, but also he can pull something like out of thin air, and then we won't hear the end of it for months. He is a Juventus legend as well, so there's that. But
Who is?
like Al said, what is the exact end game here? He's going to retire with the club. I don't know. I think we need to move on from Cuadrado playing right back and all that garbage. We need something different there. Berna at least has a little bit of different.
I think
Serviceability,
I think what you're doing
you know?
is you're just breaking up multiple utility guys, and it's
Yeah.
just like take your pick on one. You can get more years out of Berna, whatnot. Are you going to sacrifice some in contribution? Not as much right now as it
Yeah.
was years prior.
Because
Quadrado
keep in
went
mind that
lights
Cuadrado's,
out
like,
last
gonna be
year. Okay,
33.
lights out
That's
last
not
year
young.
to numbers he's never come close to in terms of contributions and whatnot. Okay, never come close to.
Mhm.
So I'm just saying. I would probably even be fine with neither, to be honest. But it was a cool discussion. Okay, we're gonna drop it at that. Ant's been called the voice of reason today. That's scary. But
Yeah,
as the voice of
I'll
reason,
keep it short.
Ant, where do you stand on this?
I'll keep it short. You can't underestimate the value of somebody whose body is always available for a game. Cuadrado's always available, right? He's always there. He's. I don't think he's been as bad as Joe and Al has said he's been. Like whenever he always adds to the attacking phase, he always has the ball up in that right hand corner, always attacking that left back. Has he been beating the man as much as before? Not really, but he's still putting balls in the box. Have they been as good as before? Not really, but he's still up there. He's still serviceable. He can play right back. He can play right wing. Berna, I don't know why he's out with the fatigue thing. I'm not sure.
Here's
But
my
when
thing,
Berna
Ant,
was
and-
here, he was playing well. But
Yeah.
I would lean to Cuadrado.
He was
in this
MVP.
case.
I don't disagree with anything you've said, but the main thing I take from that is if we are just gonna say serviceable, I take the younger guy. If we're just
enough.
looking at he's serviceable, okay, I take the younger guy. That's just for me.
Okay.
But anyways, to each their own. Okay, we carry on. I think we've got Joe. Did you have some news? Apparently, we
Are you
got
getting
some
married?
breaking news.
And don't talk about the video game either.
I had break. So
I see something in the chat here. Super.
Yeah. Just rumor through the grapevine is that Super League might be coming back. Agnelli's
Apparently,
trying
it's
again.
a revamped.
I'm not joking.
A revamped, which should have been done properly from the get-go, but they're gonna actually properly try to present this idea that they have. Okay. And apparently some of the things, one of the main things highlight is that they are not going to stick to locked in teams. So that's one of their big things, but expect very soon, actually, they're talking about, within the next couple weeks, a new presentation on the Super League. So it's far from dead. And even when we had Amit, who was a great guest on the show here talking Champions League and everything, he touched on it. He said this thing is far from over. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't think it's far from over. I said that from a long time ago. You see Champions League making a lot of alterations, and it's supposed to change even further in a couple of years. But Perez and it's not going to end. And they have massive financial backing. Okay. So don't think it's just done and over like that. So yeah, it'll be interesting to follow. Anyways, guys, trivia time. Time. 4 of you, I expect 100%. So we got everybody on the live chat. Okay. Everybody take the time to like the video, please. If you're new to the channel, it's your one-stop shop for everything Juventus. Subscribe. Awesome sponsor, stripedheartsapparel.com. Check them out. Some fantastic designs. Look at Joe rocking the hoodie. Our
Love
hoodies,
this thing.
top shelf. Okay. Unreal. Now, 27 official matches for Juventus versus Empoli. How many victories for Juve?
26.
26 from
No, it's victories.
I'm going 19.
That's a lot.
19 from Joe.
That's a lot, but I'll go 17.
17. We got Georg and Animesh jumping in here with 20. Raph.
I'm going to go 18.
18. This one goes to the very, very close from Cappuccino, but it was 20. So Animesh and Georg get one for the live
These
chat.
guys are studying.
20
There's
wins
no way.
for Juventus.
These guys in
They're
the chat are studying. They have
They're
to be.
studying.
Raph, this is horse nuts, man.
How
No,
many Empoli
set up.
players are in the top 5 for scoring in this fixture?
0.
Wow.
One.
0 from Raph.
Somebody getting like 3 or something low. I'll say 1.
I want to say it's 1, and I think I know who it is.
Interesting. Let's see if Joe can name who that is.
Is it 1?
Macarone.
Macaroni. No,
Damn
it isn't Macaroni. And it's actually 2 Empoli players that crack the top 5. Not going to give it yet because there's other questions that it could affect. Who is the outright leader and how many goals does that player have?
I'm trying to think. How do you has Empoli
Like how
been
long?
up?
Yeah.
How many times
How
have they been in
long?
City? But they might have played each other in City B that one year.
Well, I just said officially they met 27 total times and they won 20.
Yeah, but were 20 of them in the 50s?
I don't know. That's for you to figure out.
Michel Platini. I don't know.
Platini
I
from
have no idea.
Joe. It is not Platini.
I'll say Ronaldo. Ronaldo loves scoring against these guys.
It is not Ronaldo. Raph, would you like to throw out a guess?
Trezeguet.
Trezeguet. Now,
Good job,
how
Raph.
many goals?
Oh, damn.
He's over there.
How many goals did Trezeguet lead this fixture with?
7?
7
Yeah.
from Raph.
That would have been my number as well, 7.
So 2 7s. Joe, you want to throw something out there?
8.
8.
Price is right, baby.
8 went to second place,
Oh, damn.
who was Alessandro Del Piero.
Mm.
One more stab at how many goals for Trez?
11.
10.
Right on the head, 11.
I'm the greatest trivia player of all time. I know. Greatest of all
Now,
time.
That's one for the panel.
give me
Sort of
3
half.
players who have transferred between the two clubs in any way, shape, or form, whether it's sale or loan or anything. 3 players that have gone between clubs.
Rugani.
Rugani's one.
That's one.
Wow, good one.
There's one staring right at you.
Didn't Marquisio go to Empoli?
Oh,
Marquisio staring right at you. You guys got to get one more.
This
Gator's
might be
all
an
over
obscure
this one. Marquisio, Rugani.
did Candreva ever play with Empoli? It wasn't Candreva. It was
Candreva.
no.
Not
good
on
guess,
the list.
though.
I'm gonna say Uliano.
Uliano.
There was one guy who when you
No,
and I were
but I know
doing-
where you're trying to go, Anth, and you're kind of in that vicinity.
in
you
the
and
right
I did a
ballpark?
trivia, and there was one guy who played for like 55 teams, and he had a stint at Empoli. I'm trying to remember what player that was.
Man, there's a lot of beauties in here. There was a very unsung hero type player that also stuck with us in 2006 that went under the radar.
Oh,
Played as a fullback. That's one.
Balzaretti.
No,
No,
but it does start with a B.
not
You
Blumenthal.
have a forward who scored a very important Champions League goal for Juventus.
These are all known names. I know they're
You
all.
have
God, that's tough.
you have a striker that wanted the 10, was not given the 10.
That's Javinko.
There you go, Giovinco.
Yeah.
You got it. So, and even we have here had
Really?
Giovinco. So, just some other names: Birindelli.
Oh, right.
Birindelli was the one.
yeah.
Zalayeta was the forward. Okay. You had Giovinco, Marquisio, Spinazzola. Okay, was in there as
crap.
well. Yeah, these were some of the guys.
Wow.
But as far as the unsung hero, it was definitely Birindelli. I was trying to get to fullback. Played with Juve for quite some time and
He
stuck
did.
with us in Serie B and was huge that season for us. Now, in 2007, 2008, these two teams met in a 2-legged Coppa Italia matchup. What was the aggregate score over the 2 legs?
6-1.
6-1 from Anth.
5-2.
5-2 from Raph.
4-1.
4-1. One of you has the correct total of goals for Juventus. It's Anthony.
Of course it
6.
is. Because I'm the greatest trivia player of all time.
None of you got the right goals for Empoli. It was 6-5.
Well, they stink. Who cares?
Oh.
They had less than us, so it doesn't really matter.
The winning goal came from a PK in the 77th minute of the second leg, scored by who?
I didn't watch any highlights today. PK. So who would have been our? So
This
Del Piero
player
was.
was
708.
subbed onto the pitch in the 65th minute and
Oh.
scored the PK in the 77th.
He was subbed on in what minute?
The 65th.
So 12 minutes then. Hey Mike, what's up, buddy? We're just playing some trivia. What's going on with you? Thanks for joining. Oh man,
Del Piero.
I was just Del Piero's our penalty shot taker, so I'm
Del
just gonna go
Piero's
with
the
him.
automatic guess for me.
Yeah, he would have been on the bench for the second leg, so I'm just gonna guess.
You'd be right. It was Del Piero.
Because I'm
Del
the
Piero.
greatest. I don't know why I
Which
play this game. It's too
Juve
easy.
player had 3 goals between the 2 ties?
Trezeguet.
No.
Damn it.
Zalayeta.
No.
Damn.
2007, 2008.
Who was with us at that time?
What?
You try to think of somebody.
Del Piero and Trezeguet were fighting for the couple.
This guy came up in a different trivia question, and I threw his name out, and Anthony didn't even know that I tried to answer that. He thought I wasn't answering. It's the same guy. Same guy.
Javinko?
Nope.
Oh no, he wasn't there yet.
The live chat just nailed it.
That's the guy.
Member of the 2006 World Cup winning Azzurri, Iaquinta scored 3 goals between the 2 legs for Juventus.
That's the guy in the other trivia where he played for like 55 teams.
One
you
of
couldn't
the
get his
Empoli
name.
players who had 3 goals in the top 5 was Pozzi, and Pozzi scored 3 in these matchups, in the 2 matches here. Last but not least, how many total goals has Juventus scored versus Empoli? 27 total matches.
27.
How many total goals?
Total goals.
60. No, 60 a lot.
Grazie, Michael. Appreciate the support.
Over what, 27
Hang on.
games, you said?
I gotta do some math here. Hang on, let me get my calculator going.
Come on, guys.
gonna
Let's get some
say-
guys. Oh, Georg coming in here with a 53.
52.
I'm gonna say
I'm gonna
What
say
did Raph say?
45.
52.
52. Oh, he's trying to price his right Georg over here.
I'm gonna say I don't want to say 60, but I'm gonna say 59.
59 from Ant. We've got
59.
53 from you here at 49, 53.
I think it's in the 60s.
55. Joe.
45. I'll take the low end.
Well, the live chat takes this one with 55 being the closest. It was 56 total goals for Juventus. That wraps up the trivia portion. Okay, well done. Well done, guys.
Good job, guys. Wow, that was
Now-
an easy one.
Projected lineup for Juventus Empoli. Let's get right to business, okay?
Right to the
Chesney.
terrorism.
Danilo, Bonucci, Delict, Pellegrini, Zaccaria, Locatelli, Rabiot, Cuadrado, Vlahovic, Morata. This is a quick projection. I expect it to change. I actually said that this would 100% not be the lineup that we
You
see
did.
against Empoli, and I stand behind that. I see some changes. Guys, what do you think on this projection? What would you do differently? What are your thoughts? Let's kick this one off with Joe.
I think that we're going to see some changes to that lineup. Rabiot should just be, taken out and shot.
Whoa.
What else?
Oh my God.
The front three. I mean, the weight of that front three is all on Vlahovic. What else?
Calling
the
him
midfield,
fat?
aside from Rabiot's fine. Bonucci, is he still fit enough?
He
I know
looked
that
looked good. I thought he looked good. the
Lucci's
other game.
fine. Yeah.
He was struggling a little bit, but yeah, projected lineups I always take with a pinch of salt, waiting for the actual lineup. So
Mhm.
I think we'll see. I don't think that'll be the actual lineup. No.
Mm-mm.
No. Ant, what do you think?
Well, Allegri did say that either Vlahovic or Morata will start. So one of them are going to come off, and it's going to be Morata, my boy Morata. Get on the bench, bud. I hopefully, and I'll join Raph in this. Hopefully, we see Ake, one of the young boys, start on the left. This is the game to do it. At the back, looks all right. Bonucci, I thought he played okay in his little spell there midweek or last week. Yeah, other than that, I get ready, guys, because Rabiot's starting. Buckle up.
There you go.
starting.
Raph, let's
So
go.
many
Let's hear
minutes.
it. Let's line up.
If it was up to me,
Mm-hmm.
I say give me a double pivot of Locatelli and Miretti. 3 behind Vlahovic, Keane on the left, Sule in the middle, Ake on the right, Vlahovic up top.
Oh my God. Look at Raph. Just the fearless
I love it.
Give me the
backing
youth.
of the youth.
I want the youth.
I
Okay.
love it.
That'll be my team.
So-
I'm back.
I would switch
Now-
Cuadrado and Keane there, but I do like that.
So here's for me. We're very, very dangerous in rendering Keane completely useless and mentally broken and washed.
Mm-hmm.
I would be fine with one of Vlahovic and Morata sitting to start this one. Make it Morata, okay? Vlahovic, have him in there because we do need the 3 points and he is more lethal. Keane, let us see Keane on a wing, okay? not as an outright 9. Let's see him on one of those wings. I would have no fear playing Ake to start this match on the opposite wing, okay? And everything else is fine, but I would build towards a stronger midfield, and I would start with this match against Empoli. So I'm going to leave it at that for the midfield. Everything else, I'm totally fine with. At the end of the day, regardless of injuries, where we stand, this is Empoli. Juventus must take 3 points here. I will not stand for anything less. It has to be 3 points in this matchup. Now, Animesh comes in with a question saying, with Milan and Inter dropping points yesterday, does that change our lineup today? It should have no bearing on our lineup. We need to start going out and dictating what happens and what goes down in these matches, and we need to start attacking them appropriately. We need to stop worrying about managing. And one of the big things that came from the non-Molo thing, which I found hilarious, was apparently this technical meeting thing was to start to find changes amongst our personnel and how we play in order to start making the opponents think about us rather than us spending all our energy, all our time adapting to them and what they're doing. So apparently somebody amongst this organization wants change in terms of how we play and wants to start dictating play. And no, everybody, I am not tied into Juventus and I do not make calls. I do not make shots. But yes, it does sound like everything I've been asking for since a couple months into this season is start dictating play. Now, guys, we got to get 3 points. Absolutely have to.
100%.
You've got Ake and Sule and Mirati, and obviously with all the injuries, Chiellini, we know is gone, Rugani, Sandro, Bernardeschi, McKinney, Dybala, Chiesa, and Cao Jorge. So long list. But today, no BS.
No.
Get the job done. You get some rotation and you can get these guys some minutes as well in this. But with a sealed result, you've achieved perfection in this match. Okay. You can start getting some of these younger guys outside of one starting. I think Ake should start, but outside of that, you get some of these guys 15, 20 minutes in and a result, you've achieved perfection. Okay. Has to get 3 points. Guys, any thoughts before we kind of get into the whole prediction challenge on this game and what you want to see? Like, obviously, I think we all want the same. We cannot surrender play to Empoli.
Michael summed it up right here.
Bottom line.
3 points are going to snap. That's it.
Yep.
We're going to
pretty
snap.
much it.
Yeah.
Al's going to burn this show down tomorrow if we lose 2 or more points. I'm worried about this show and the internet. And
I'll tell you right now, what you guys saw from Raph last week is nothing compared to if we do not get this 3 points today, okay? And especially if we allow Empoli,
it's going to be bad.
Anything close to majority possession, okay? I will lose my mind, okay? Let's get the job done. Let's stop messing around. This is a Scudetto nobody wants. Let's at least make it interesting.
Nobody
the Scudetto, guys, complete lost cause or just a slight inkling. It feels like they want to keep that dream alive for us, but we're not in this race. We just got to get in this top 4.
We're not, but they're doing their best to keep us in it for sure.
They are doing their best to leave us
it.
lingering in there. And this is what kills me about some of these results, where we should have really, really gone after it much more because sure, we talk about this all the time. I feel like we didn't manage to lose, but it's blinding us that we did nothing to get after that win. So today, I don't want to see any of that. I don't want to be left with that feeling. I want this team to go out there hard, get the job done. We have the prediction challenge right now, and then we're going to take Storm the Barn where we take some of your questions from everybody here, okay? Play like the big team, period. No excuses. I love it, Ernesto, okay? That is exactly when we
Good job, Ernie.
Today. Now, prediction time.
Yes, sir.
Everybody that's with us here, we will pick one from the live to represent them and try to get themselves some what do we got? We got a bunch of strike card stickers and stuff, and we'll throw a couple of these guys out. The Treze goal and the Gigi. Throw a few, and there's a bunch of other ones, some Davids and whatever. Somebody could try and win some stickers if you beat us in the challenge. We're gonna pick Michael Razzle.
That's what I was gonna say. Mike's in. Mike Razzle.
So Mike is in. He's already given the total. We're not there yet. Okay, on the final. So
2-1.
take
Got
it
it.
easy. Take it easy. Tiebreakers out of the way first. Let's go with offsides. Oh, Animesh, you know what? Jump in there, my man. We'll do Animesh and Michael. Okay, so
That's okay. I got an erasable pen. I got enough ink.
for everybody else, by the way, those stickers come with the sick tees, Trezeguet and GGTs, available at stripedtartsbarrel.com. Those come with them in combo.
Shirts?
So
are the Vlahovic
stop
shirts
wasting
still
your
available?
time. They're only out for a limited edition time. Let's go now. Offsides, Juve.
All right. Answer my own question.
I'm gonna
Raph.
go with
No.
4.
How many
4?
offsides?
Yeah.
9.
Sorry, what?
9 for Juve.
9 for him.
If we have Morata starting, I'm saying 9, man.
What the hell are in those strawberries? All right, 9. All right. Joe?
Animesh has 3.
Okay. Mike, get that pick.
7. I'm going
7 from.
You guys are
I
crazy.
think Vlahovic is gonna tear
We're
this
waiting
shit
for
up.
Michael Razzo to throw
I'll go-
his offside.
I'll go 3.
prediction. Ant, what was yours?
3.
3. Okay.
Yep. 4
Michael
for Mike.
has 4.
Okay.
Now let's go to total attempts and how many on target for
Raph?
Juventus.
Raph?
14 and 5. I'm saying.
14 and 5. All right. Raph?
3 and 0.
Come on, man. 3, none on target.
Someone needs to be the villain, man. 3 and 0.
I'm gonna say
Holy moly.
16 and 6.
16 and
16 and
6. Very
6.
close to Jeremiah's guess here, which was 16 and 7. Michael Razzo coming in with 20 attempts, 8 on target. Animesh with 12 and 7.
I'm going 11 and 4.
11 and 4.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Now, first team to get a card.
Oh,
And what
shoot.
minute?
Yellow.
I'm going to say the first card will be Empoli, and it will be the 34th minute.
That's my man. That's a good pick. Joe. get this
Daniel.
guy-
I will say Empoli, but I'll go 10 minutes earlier. I'll say the 24th minute.
Very nice,
20.
Joe.
Good thing I got an erasable pen. I thought you were going to say 20.
Very nice, Joe.
Erasable pen.
I'm going to go Empoli in the 55th.
Nice.
Raph?
Michael Razzo has Empoli in the 40th.
All right.
And Animesh, Juve in the 39th.
That's kind of negative, but we'll take it. Raph?
Raph?
Rabiot red card after 5.
Jeez,
You're such a
Raph.
What's the matter with you today? What's the matter
It's the
with you? You okay?
strawberries.
It's those rum flavored strawberries.
it's
I'm,
the strawberries.
I'm
Fired up.
speaking of what I've seen. This guy
this.
is gonna.
Jeremiah
finish
Cuadrado,
us one day.
37th minute.
Which
Okay.
makes sense on the 3 shots with none on target.
So now
not
we
gonna
get
have
to halftime score. Halftime scores, everybody.
mm-hmm. I'll go first. I'll go 1-0 Juve.
Took my score.
That's okay. You can say the same one.
I'll say 1-0 Juve.
Al?
Raph,
Al?
He's going first.
you go, Raph.
Rabiot own goal before he gets the red card.
He got a red card.
Before,
Just
yeah,
before.
after 2 minutes, he'll score an own goal 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes later he'll get red carded.
I love you,
And
Raph.
probably 1-0 at the half because
Michael Razzo has got 1-0 for Juve. Animesh has 0-0. I'm going 2-0 Juventus at half.
Mike, send your Twitter handle, and Animesh, send your Twitter handles on the chat here so we can write those down. Okay, full time.
Jeremiah's got 2-0 Juve. KM's got 2-0 Juventus. I've got 2-0 as well. Now we get to full-time scores. Full-time scores. My full-time score in this one remains 2-0 Juventus. 2-0 final.
Raph?
1-0 Empoli.
God,
Jesus.
why?
Who invited you?
If I'm
Oh,
right,
actually, we
guys,
did.
I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna pull this up.
We'll
after the
never
game.
hear the end of this.
Raph, if you win
if
this,
if he
you
gets
are
this
gonna
right,
be public enemy number 1. Okay, and we're not
gets
gonna
this
we're
right.
not gonna allow
I'm gonna
we're
be
not
like
gonna allow
like
for
the
bragging rights on
last
this
season. Do you
prediction.
remember him? He was everything he was calling was happening.
I'm
Unironically.
gonna go with 3-0 Juve. Vlahovic hat trick. He's gonna do it today.
Ooh.
TABALHOV.
So Michael Razzo's got his Instagram on here. Okay. Animesh has his Twitter handle on there. Animesh also went 2-0 full time. We're waiting for Michael Razzo's full time. Well, actually, he put it in earlier saying 2-1.
2-1. Sorry, I was 3-0. Joe, you were what?
I was gonna say 3-0 with a Vlahovic hat trick.
Vlahovic Hattie.
It's very ant of me.
Now we go to goal scorers. We see Joe's is a hat trick from Vlahovic.
Yep.
I'm going to give you Vlahovic and a Bonucci goal on a set piece.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm going Deuce on the loose with 2, and then Cuadrado with the 3rd.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Al, you said what?
Vlahovic and Bonucci.
Deuce, Bonucci. All right. Raph, you said none, so you stink.
Michael Razzo has a Vlahovic and Locatelli goal. And Animesh has a Vlahovic brace. Raph has
Rabiot own
0
goal, if that counts.
0 goals from Juve being scored. And a Rabiot own goal.
Possession.
Possession was a tiebreaker one. I'm going to go with 58% Juventus.
58-42. Raph?
Yeah.
50-50 because of the red card?
What, possession?
Yeah.
65 Empoli.
He's a hater.
Raph.
Joe.
60-40 Juve.
60-40. That's just not us, man. I'm going to go 56-44.
This will be different.
I go 56-44.
It has to be different today. Let's go. Razzo's with 52 for Juve. Animesh 52 as well for Juventus. Now, man of the match. Who is the man of the match for Juventus in this one? Raph's going to say Rabiot. Joe. Raph, come on, man of the match. Let's go. Who's going to be Juve's best player?
De Ligt.
There you go.
That's a good
Joe.
Dusan.
I'm gonna send some love to the big man in the back. I'm gonna go Tech today. Stops a PK.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna give it to him.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Vlahovic. Vlahovic will be man of the match. Animesh and Michael Razzo also have Vlahovic. KM is throwing out Dusan Vlahovic.
It has been recorded. Even Raph's picks. Whatever the
guys. Closing thoughts going into this one. Actually, storm the barn. Everybody, come on. We'll take a couple quick ones. We've run a little bit of overtime because we had a couple good discussion points here today. But one of them was actually your thoughts on Gravenberch to Juventus. Raph, your thoughts on Gravenberch to Juve?
I like him. From Ajax fans that I know that watch the season, apparently he's struggling a bit this year, and I feel like he's not ready for the big leap. However, if you're a young player, make that leap. Because you look at guys like Kusem Aouar, who've stuck too long at Lyon, and now it looks like their career is going to be flat. He's young, he's exciting. There's room to be molded there. He's very similar to Pogba, who Allegri got a very great season out of in his last year here. So I'm going to be positive and just be like, I'm excited for this one if it comes across.
There you go. Joe, thoughts on Gravenberch?
He fits the profile that I think that Eva Bene and Cherubini are going for. You know, I think Raph absolutely nailed it. He's a young, exciting player. Yeah, he might not be having the best season at Ajax right now, but he checks all the boxes, in my opinion. I think that he would be a great addition to the midfield.
There you go. Anth, anything to touch on with Gravenberch?
Well, since we're shipping Rabiot out and whoever else in the midfield, we're gonna need warm bodies with a pulse to fill it, right? So, bring in the youth. Let's see what we got. Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of that, I was going to kind of touch on if Rabiot is going to be out, which it's being discussed. They will accept 15 million euros. A couple teams in the Prem interested. You see him out, Gravenberch in, no brainer. But I still say there's yet another profile we would need in the middle. I still say that. Now, Michael Razzo's got a storm the barn question, and it is, do you think we will ever see Locatella, Artur, and Zakaria starting in the mid this season? I say yes, we will see it at some point. Guys?
Yes.
You agree? Joe says yes. Raph, you think we'll see that mid?
No.
No? No?
No, because they spelled Rabiot wrong there. So
I think with the injuries and everything and whatnot and what's going on, I think it's going to happen at some point.
Maybe in Coppa Italia or something. Yeah, you're going to run out of steam.
I think it's going to happen. So I would say yes. Do you think Allegri becomes his best version starting tonight? I am not going to hold my breath, Jeremiah, but Max, I think Max has to come out of his comfort zone. The funny thing is I've been saying for I don't know how long this season, for this team to truly grow and progress to a point where we can all agree we have progressed. Because right now you have some fans saying we have progressed. I haven't seen it, to be honest. To get to this team to a point where we can see true progression, I think Max has to first change. He needs to be the first one to change in order for this team to take the next step and really go through the gears. That's my personal opinion. Do any of you have anything you want to touch on this?
He's not going to change, man. It's going to be tough.
That's just flat out. He ain't changing. Raph's really making me nervous, man. I think we need to have a talk outside of the show. Lately, you haven't been yourself. I'm getting concerned.
This last week.
Don't let it happen. Take it easy. It's going to turn around, my friend.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's been tough. It's been rough, man.
Yeah,
but the Paulo Nomolo threads, the big Paulo Nomolo threads, translation and put on the main account by Raph. This kid right over here,
killing it. Raph's Nomolo drops, and all of you, the amount of feedback on the Nomolo stuff, everybody's loving it. So massive props to Raph, guys. No bullshit today. Get out there. Get the job done. We need 3 points. Yes, we know we are inconsistent, but we're capable of far, far more. Now, the screws have been put to Max, okay? Big list of injuries. He's got to incorporate some of these young guys some way, somehow. It's going to be interesting to see what he dials up. Hopefully, I said this before, and I stick to it. Everything happens for a reason. Maybe, just maybe, if there's any positive you can take out of the brutal injuries and whatnot, is that maybe this forces Max's hand into changing, and maybe that leads to finding something that truly unlocks the potential of this team. That is the biggest positive I can hope for and have wishful thinking for, is that hopefully this forces the change. I know how the majority feel, and that this, Max just will not change. But let's just see, and maybe we will be pleasantly surprised. The biggest thing is all these guys ahead of us are chumps. They don't want the title. They're dropping points left, right, and center. Yep. Let's stop tripping on our dicks and start stepping up and making it interesting, okay? Let's go. It starts today with Empoli. We called victories, except for Raph. Pay no attention to his predictions. Let's go out there, get the job done. We're going to be here tomorrow morning live at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and we're going to get ready to celebrate the victory that comes today. And I'm telling you, we're getting the victory today, okay? And a clean sheet. Let's go. Deuce on the loose with a goal, okay? And Delict going to be a beast. Tech stopping a PK, apparently, according to Anthony. So look for all this, okay? Ciao tutti. Thank you for the support. Like the video. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. We'll talk to you tomorrow, okay? Fino alla fine. Forza Juve. Get the job done. Empoli, you stink.